Welcome back. It's time for the final episode of the first season of Rookie Watch. We're here in Tampa for Super Bowl 62, where they're apparently reusing the decorations from Super Bowl 55, which is when the game was last hosted here. The patch is right on the jerseys, though, so, anyways, it's one generational prospect against another, Chris Hargrove, the rookie, and Trevor Lawrence, the veteran. The Detroit Lions are here for the first time ever, the Jets only for the second. They did win in their other appearance with Joe Namath in the 90s. They are a rather shocking 16-1 this season. However, their only loss came in this stadium. Perhaps an ill omen, or perhaps a chance to exorcise some demons. The Lions, in the meantime, have many demons surrounding their playoff past, but a Cinderella playoff run as the 6th seed may bring that to an end. It's certainly a start. But let's not just make it about the quarterbacks or the team histories. This is something that every single one of these players and coaches have trained their entire lives for. We're all hoping for a great game as the players come out onto the field for warm-ups. Let's head inside for a quick pregame show. This is Nose for the Ball. I'm your host, Nose. Welcome back. Can't believe we're here. Would not have guessed that the Jets would get to the Super Bowl when this season started. First, though, we've got to look at the yearly awards. Josh Allen is your MVP. I think that is the right call. Although Hargrove set the single season record for passing yards and passing touchdowns, he also threw 30 picks, and Josh Allen also broke the passing yardage record. He just did it to a lesser degree, so he's in second now. I do feel like fourth is a little low, but I'm not going to bother comparing him to Lamar or Dak. The voting in this after the first does not mean all that much to me. McDaniel, of course, wins Coach of the Year. Samuel, Wilson, and Hall top three for Player of the Year. I kind of think Hall should have been second. I mean, the man absolutely demolished the rushing record. Myles Garrett is Defensive Player of the Year, but John Franklin Myers is in fourth, right next to Quinnen Williams in fifth. Those are some very good finishes for them. And of course, Chris Hargrove is Rookie of the Year. No surprise there. I'm not sure who Stachelski is, honestly. Rosenberg, another quarterback. I don't think his stats were particularly gaudy, but quarterbacks can get it on this list. John Parham for the Dolphins, we saw, put up some very good numbers against us. And that Raiders quarterback who started maybe half the years on here, too. I'm not familiar with many of these names. We did play the Ravens, but it was a while ago, and I don't remember this guy's name. This cornerback, Terrell Posey, is the really good cornerback that the Broncos drafted early, but I guess he didn't put up enough numbers for the award. Best quarterback goes to Allen, no surprise there. Hargrove comes in second. I kind of feel like maybe they should have just given him that award and said whatever with the interceptions, but that's just me. Hall, of course, best running back. And Samuel and Wilson top list for receiver. Diggs after that. Amani Bonds, who we saw. Two Bengals players, but Jamar Chase is the second of them. That's interesting. And then the best OL award. I'm not really sure what's going on here. Salyer, I got benched like 4 games in or something. Pritchard did not play. He was a backup. Larry Reed also a backup. And then we've got AVT and Becton. So that's kind of a weird list. Unsurprisingly, Garrett is best defensive line, JFM and Quinnen here as well. And then best linebacker, this is another spot where they need to just have an edge role, have like an interior defensive line, and have an off-ball linebacker, because unless you have a user getting lots of picks or something, it's just going to be another edge rusher. Snead gets the nod at DB. We just saw him in the AFC Championship game. Taylor Rapp on the list as well. Daniel Carlson is the best kicker, which I believe I predicted. Tommy McConnell second, didn't miss a kick, but didn't make as many field goals. I'm going to scroll through the NFC faster, but Jeremiah Edwards, the other really good rookie quarterback, won their Offensive Rookie of the Year, and the Giants also had the Defensive Rookie of the Year. I'm loving that the Vikings got the best quarterback. Unfortunately, the season came to a swift end. Quinn Miners, who we're about to face, is the best offensive line. Of course, we won't actually see him. Josh Allen will also see today, and another example of these categories being dumb. And that's going to do it. Here is the lineup now. You can see Hargrove is now an X Factor. Hall and Wilson up to superstar. Samuel as well, all the way up from normal. Frankly, don't understand why none of these guys got breakout chances during this season, as they were putting up gaudy numbers all year long. But we'll get to play with some new abilities in the Super Bowl at least, which should be fun. A bunch of skill points to apply as well. We'll do one more improviser for Hargrove, and that's a good final upgrade for him. CPU will probably do strong arm for him until he hits 99. Spent a while scrolling through and choosing new abilities for Hargrove, but here's all of them. That's the Omaha X Factor ability as well. Honestly, haven't used that one very much. I don't know if it's going to turn out to be OP or not, but we'll see. It's only one game. Here's a last look at Hargrove's ratings for the last game that we'll play as him. A little bit bittersweet. Skill point for Hall as well. I ended up giving him Balance Beam and Human Joystick for his abilities. I thought those made the most sense for his skill set and how he's played this year. Wilson's last skill point went into Physical, just rounding out his game a little bit. I gave him Mid-In Elite and Route Technician for his abilities. Samuel got 3 upgrades and is close to a 4th. Of course, he's younger and he won 2 different awards, so makes sense. I spread these around a little bit. 2 in Physical, 1 in Slot. Unfortunately, partially because of that, partially because I'd been putting it in Playmaker all year when he was very much Deep Threat archetype. He has a lot of abilities still locked, so I ended up just giving him Matchup Nightmare, which isn't that good, but was the only thing that I felt made sense for him. I'm not going to go as in-depth on anyone else, but quick look at the defense. JFM, Quinnen Williams, Taylor Rapp all get upgraded to Superstar. Kind of surprised Williams wasn't one already. I believe Zimini's also got an upgrade to Star. Sauce actually got downgraded from Superstar. Looking at the Lions roster, Trevor Lawrence, of course, a big 99 overall, extremely accurate, great awareness, great athleticism as well. Nolan Bailey morale up to a 98 overall at only 25. Incredibly athletic. I wonder if he was generational, because I feel like you almost never see that type of speed in running backs in this game, at least not in guys that the CPU is able to actually develop. Amon Ross St. Brown unfortunately has a broken fibula. He's going to be out. They're still very good. Gabe Davis is up to 94, playing up to that at least. Ayuk at a 93, and Jamison Williams is down to their 4th receiver. Will play, of course, with St. Brown out, but he's kind of buried despite a high overall. Solid young tight end there, and this offensive line looks pretty good, so a lot to work with offensively for the Lions. Aiden Hutchinson is their big superstar on defense, and I think one of the only guys remaining on this defense. The other end is a much weaker spot. Defensive tackle is okay. Josh Allen will be another superstar. Their off-ball linebackers are young, promising, but not particularly strong at this point. Of course, we'll see how they play. Sometimes the ratings that are low for younger players to be low overalls don't actually matter. Awareness. Corners look pretty good for the top 2. Kirby Joseph still here, looking good. And then they've got another safety who's just all right. Despite the roster, it looks like the offensive rankings for the Lions are not that high this season. I do wonder if they've got some injuries or something that they dealt with during this season. However, the defensive numbers are awesome. And that kind of makes me wonder if they just didn't really need to play that much offense. Giving it away more than the median team, but probably below average, or at least closer to number 1 than they are to number 32. Interestingly enough, this team led the league in sacks but was last in takeaways. That's a very strange juxtaposition. If they're not getting takeaways, that does mean they're getting worse field position, which maybe plays into the points scored offensively, but who knows. Let's just get into this game. The Lions will start with the ball today. Detroit looking to do something good on its first ever Super Bowl drive. They start with a big play to Jamison Williams, but now going backwards a little. 2 sacks on this drive, including one for Josh Pierce. I think he's got more sacks in the playoffs now than he did in the regular season. Anyways, Jets have their first drive. Hall taking it to the left, patient run, and he's got about 9. Good start. You know, the on-field logo is right. I guess it's just the banners that they reused from Super Bowl 55. Hargrove on the play fake will dump off to Conklin. Not much, but it's the first down. Probably not exactly how Hargrove imagined his first completion in the Super Bowl, but hey, it's a box to check off. Throwing here again on 2nd and 7. He's got Samuel open. He's got space. He's down the sideline, and nobody is going to catch him. Touchdown Jets, 66 yards. White man dancing in the Super Bowl. We'll watch it back in a second. Detroit was in cover 1 with a safety lurking underneath. He clamped down on a lower route. That left Kenneth Waddle all alone against Samuel. He had no chance The Lions must like him in the slot, but he's the sixth corner that I have written down in my notes here, so maybe not who you want on Madison Samuel. The Lions will try this thing again. Good start to the tight end. And now a couple of incompletions and a big play to Jamison Williams. I don't know why his picture is like that. It's really bothering me. Third sack of the day, I think, for the Jets. And the Lions have to punt from plus territory in the Super Bowl. It's a touchback, so only a net of about 25 yards on that one. Do not love how that worked out for the Lions. Play fake here, and Shaq Thompson almost turned that around. It hit him right in the hands. Probably not the last interceptable pass we'll see for Hargrove, but this one's good to Breece Hall. Plenty of space working on Shaq Thompson there, and he's up to the 46. 2 plays, and it already looks like the Lions should have just gone for it on 4th down. Hall's got the ball now, but he's going to be taken down by Greenwood. Nice open space tackle. 2nd and 7, ball spotted just shy of midfield. Hargrove drops to pass. Firing to the right, and he's got Tyler Boyd. Nice little move, turned around Thompson, and it's another 1st down. Kind of a rough drive for Shaq Thompson. Dropped what could have turned out to be a Super Bowl defining play, albeit pretty early, and then beaten in coverage a couple of times. Hall up the middle, spinning off contact, and he's across the 30. Hargrove under center. It'll be a play fake. Here comes Hutchinson. Hargrove goes down. No time to make a throw there. Just like that, 3rd and 10, edge of field goal range as well. Hargrove drops a pass, fires to the left, and the toe tap inbounds from Wilson. Greenwood couldn't decide which receiver to take. Could have trusted his safety to take away Tyler Boyd, who Hargrove doesn't usually throw deep to anyways. Passing in the red zone now, fires left to Samuel, and it's knocked away by Thompson. He's mostly been in good position in coverage, just gotta make the plays when you're there. On 2nd and 10, Hall will get the carry. He's got some space, rolling over defenders, and they're going to mark him just short. I thought he had it. 3rd and inches, Hargrove in the gun. Takes the snap, looking to pass, not finding anybody open. Pressure coming, and he just gets that one away. Offense on the field for 4th and inches. Usually you'd expect a QB sneak, but this team has not been good with that. Hargrove hands off to Hall. He's up the middle, fighting through contact. Touchdown, Breece Hall. He went over Shaq Thompson. His bad day continues, but Breece Hall's good day may just be getting started. Detroit will have another chance here as we tick down in the 1st quarter. Good start to the drive into the 2nd quarter now. Going to be a 3rd and 4 at midfield. Big play to Brandon Ayuk. Keeps the drive moving. Going backwards a little now, but they get a big 3rd down conversion. I think we've seen that problem for the Jets before on defense. They get a sack or a TFL and then allow the conversion anyways, and the Lions are on the board as a result. That said, hard to really complain about how the Jets defense has played so far. Hall takes this one up the middle. He's got room, and he's taken down at the 40. Great blocking. Defensive backs got fooled by the runoffs. My grandmother could have picked up the 1st down on that one. Hargrove with the play fake now. Fires downfield. He's got a man open. It's Tyler Boyd. He runs over Kirby Joseph and is tackled down shy of the 30. 28-yard pickup play. Jets now in plus territory. Handoff right to Hall. Cuts back left. Thompson can't get him. Blocked from Drew. Blocked from Samuel. And he's sprung. Josh Allen too late with the tackle. Touchdown Breece Hall. 32 yards. Jets have a 2-score lead once more. It only took 3 plays. Lions need an answer, not just in terms of points, but in terms of momentum. They convert another 3rd down with a big gain. But now they're stalling in need of another conversion. They're not going to get it, and they'll punt from midfield. The punt is a good one. It's down at the 7. Hargrove under center. Will fake the handoff to Hall looking to throw. Fires to Samuel, and it's just knocked away by Shepard. 2nd and 10, Hargrove in the gun. Will pass, standing in his own end zone. Loads up, firing long for Samuel, and it's knocked away by Waddle. Looked like he had Hall underneath, but I guess he feels like he can be aggressive right now. He's probably right. 3rd and 10, though. Pressure coming, but he fires to Boyd. Boyd has a 1st down, wrestled down by Greenwood. He has been so dependable this year. He hasn't been putting up crazy numbers like Samuel or Wilson, but he's got that veteran presence. He's certainly a good safety blanket for Hargrove. Will now fire downfield. Wilson's got it. Came back to get it a little, and he will be short of the 1st down. So 3rd and inches now. About 4 minutes to go in the half. Hall up the middle. Plenty of space. Trying to cut outside, but Kirby Joseph will cut him off before he can turn the corner. 14 yards just up to midfield. Hall is at 99 yards on the day. It'll be a fake to him. Hargrove fires downfield. He's got Wilson for another gain of almost 20. Great blitz pickup. Mekhi Becton crossed all the way from the left side to the right to pick up a blitzing corner. Pinned off to Hall now, and he won't get much. 2nd and 9, Hargrove in the gun. Culliver checks into the backfield. It'll be a fake to him. Hargrove looking to throw. Nobody picked up Garrett Wilson. It's a touchdown if he can stay in bounds, and he dives into the end zone. No idea what DeAndre Person was thinking there. Should have at least hit him at the goal line. Hope he caused a fumble. Looked like he just gave up. Beautiful pass from Hargrove. Probably made it harder on himself than he needed to. And Wilson's got plenty of space to do the rest. Hargrove is well on his way to that Super Bowl ring. Let's see how the Lions deal with this nightmare scenario. 2 minutes to go, all 3 timeouts, and they're going to start by getting sacked. The Jets are going to call timeouts instead, and I think the Lions will punt. Is that Mike McDaniel on the field? Jets have it at their own 16, 1:26 to go, and a timeout. Lions showing blitz, they back off. Hargrove will fire to the right to Boyd, and he's just going to get out of bounds here to stop the clock. Up to the 25, just short of a first down, that probably doesn't matter. Hargrove fires to the left. He's got Wilson, and it's a good thing he went to the ground because Kirby Joseph almost took his head off. Not because it was malicious, mind you, just maybe a bit of a hospital ball. Jets do use their timeout. Hargrove looking to throw, and he's sacked. That's Julian Bowie. New York's out of timeouts. They hurry to the line. Hargrove takes the snap, fires long for Wilson, and he almost comes down with it, but it does hit the ground. 3rd and 18. Hargrove dropping back from the gun. Fires long to Samuel. It's a little offline, and it's intercepted. That's Person, and that's really just an arm punt. Of course, have to hope the Lions can't do anything with the time remaining, and with that sack, it looks like they won't. Jets get the ball to start the second half, and it looks like they may be writing another chapter in Detroit misery. It's one thing to get all the way to the Super Bowl and lose. It's another thing to get blown out, as Breece Hall fights for 5 yards. Of course, it's a little early to count chickens. 28-7 isn't even 28-3, but the Lions are going to need to find some stops here. Hargrove, plenty of time, rolls out, finds Wilson. He can't stay in bounds, but he's got 25 yards, and he's across midfield. The Chiefs found some ways to slow down the passing offense last week. Couldn't do the same for the rushing side, but I thought the Lions would take some pages out of their book, and they have not. It's been easy pickings for Hargrove. He finds Samuel here again. It's going to be up near the 10-yard line. That's 31 yards for Samuel. We're not seeing schematic issues for the Lions, though. It's not like they've got a linebacker manned up on a receiver. They're just losing with their cornerbacks. Hargrove now rolling outside, fires to the end zone. Great adjustment by Double Drew, and he's got a touchdown. He's cutting in on that route. I don't know if the pass was inaccurate from Hargrove or if he was intentionally leading him away from Shepard, but it goes to where only Drew can get it, and he makes a great adjustment. Really nice play from a guy who we've seen disappear at times. I don't know where the team is that beat the top 3 seeds in the NFC, but it needs to show up fast. There's a big ab to Jameson Williams, and now they lose 9 yards on a sack. Absolutely killed that drive, and they're going to have to punt once more, and it's a touchback. I know it was 4th and 19, but I feel like that's the last time you can even punt in this game. Hall bouncing off tacklers. He's got 9 yards. Skipping ahead a little bit, there was a holding call. Jets have 1st and 16 now, and Culliver is going to trip over Mekhi Becton. I'm sure he's hoping that's not his only touch in the Super Bowl. Jets are looking like the Lions offense on this drive. Fake handoff now. Hargrove rolls right, fires long. He's got Samuel. This time he is covered by a linebacker, stays in bounds. Greenwood's chasing, tackles him. Did he get in? Greenwood saying no. Refs say yes. Touchdown, Madison Samuel, white man dancing. I imagine this guy did not go to a lot of parties at Washington. If he did, I don't think anybody stood near him. Just rewatching this great effort on the play by Samuel. He would have had this easily if he hadn't had to kind of swerve back in bounds. Greenwood does manage to catch up, which is impressive in itself. But just a beautiful dive for the pylon here. This one is getting ugly. Really fun for the Jets, but honestly, I was hoping for a better game. Hopefully the Lions can at least get some pride here, no pun intended. They do get a big play to Gabe Davis, and they're driving, but only a couple minutes left in the 3rd quarter. 4th and 1, and they're going to kick the field goal? Are you kidding me? What is wrong with you, Dan Campbell? I get it. You can score 4 touchdowns with 2-point conversions and it's tied, but you have to get a stop on defense for that to work. The only time we've done that was an arm punt at the end of the first half. I mean, come on. Hall will pick up 3 here, and I'm just mad. At least they didn't punt from midfield like last time, but... I thought the kneecap guy would be more aggressive than that. Decent run defense from the Lions here, but not good tackling. He'll be close to a first down. Hargrove in the gun, adjusting the play on 3rd and inches. He's got some time and fires to... I'm not sure who that was to. Samuel ran into Wilson. If that was the adjustment he made, it wasn't a good one. Skipping ahead a couple plays, 3rd and 3, we're into the 4th quarter. Hargrove fires right, he's got Boyd, and that won't be much, but it will be a first down. 10 minutes to go in the Super Bowl. Hall right up the middle, plenty of space. He's all the way up to the 30-yard line. 3rd and 6, Jets are empty. Hall out wide to the left. Hargrove takes the snap, fires to the left, and Hall makes a nice play, but he'll be tackled short of the line to gain. 3rd down stop for the Lions. Jets will go for it though, big men on the field. Breece Hall isn't even out here. It's Donald Peterson and Culliver as the up back. He gets the ball. He's got 4 yards. Lions fans everywhere look back down at their phones, trying to figure out who will be available at the 31st pick. Hargrove to pass once more. Fires over the middle to Samuel, and he's got about 8, close to another first down. Inside the 10, it's 2nd and 2. Wilson in motion. He gets it on the jet sweep. He's inside the 5. That's honestly probably the best it's worked all year. 1st and goal. Breece Hall on the carry. Shepard blasts him, but he reached across the goal line anyways. Touchdown Jets. The scoring will continue until defense improves. It's going to be 49-10. I think the Lions are past the point of playing for pride now. They're just trying to avoid becoming a statistic on the Super Bowl Wikipedia page. Sack for JFM, but a penalty against Chris Barnes continues the drive. Jamison Williams has a big play. They're moving a little bit, but time is running short in this one. Under 4 minutes to go. 3rd down, and Chris Barnes redeems himself with an interception. 3 minutes to go. What do you think the Jets are going to do? They're going to run it up the gut with Breece Hall. Past the 2-minute warning, it's a 3rd and 5 for the Jets. This would not end it yet if the Lions do want to use their timeouts. Hargrove rifles it over the middle. Garrett Wilson's got it. Not great effort from Shepard and Joseph on that play. I think either of them could have made a play on that ball, but the game's over. They know it, the fans know it, and the sidelines know it. That's why the Lions are not going to call a timeout. Victory formation for the Jets. And for the first time in 59 years, the Jets are winning the Super Bowl. And they've done it in dominant fashion, obliterating the Detroit Lions 49-10. Very sad for Lions fans. I hope they get back here soon. Would love to see them win it all. But today is about the Jets. It's about Chris Hargrove. It's about all the other rising stars on this team. They're young. They've got even more potential all across this team. They've got a rookie who's going to be a perennial MVP candidate from here on out. I can't wait to see what they're going to do in the future. It's no surprise, I'm sure, your Super Bowl MVP is Chris Hargrove. 451 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. The 1 interception which did not matter at all. They apparently have confetti raining down from blimps or something. It is well outside the stadium, much higher than the stadium goes. I can't imagine the city of Tampa is going to like that litter all over the streets. The Jets don't care. They're waving the trophy, going crazy. I'm out of water. My tongue is sticking to the roof of my mouth. But I'm just going to keep on babbling because that's how excited I am for this young team. There it is, the last entry in the stat sheet for Chris Hargrove's rookie season. Obviously elated to get the win. I do wish that this had been more of a 49-45 affair. But Trevor Lawrence just did not have it today, or maybe it was his receivers. I don't know. Seemed like he got sacked a lot as well. Great rushing game for Hall, of course. Bailey had a quite good game as well. He just didn't have as much opportunity, only 13 carries. 3 touchdowns for Breece Hall as well. Rare that that stat line is not going to be your Super Bowl MVP. Although, to be fair, like 70 yards and a touchdown worth were in basically garbage time. Madison Samuel has a very Madison Samuel game, 4 for 176, 2 touchdowns. 8 for 151 and a score for Wilson as well. Jamison Williams in his bugged picture got 132. That's a very good day. Ayuk did some stuff early but kind of disappeared after that. Gabe Davis, who we saw in the stat sheet in their other playoff games, did like nothing in this one. Almost forgot to look at defense here, and I'm glad that I remembered because look at this. 4.5 sacks for John Franklin Myers. That's like the fourth Super Bowl MVP caliber performance on this team in one game. Another sack and a half for Quinnen Williams. Pierce and Zimnes get in on the fun too, and somehow there was only one TFL in this whole game. Over 600 yards of offense in this, almost double Detroit's number there. We are going to get one more upgrade for Samuel. I'm very aware that I've pretty much made his career something else entirely. I hope he continues to play well as we move forward in this series. I tried to look at the league history page for this season, but apparently that doesn't work until you've simulated past Super Bowl week. After simulating, I had another upgrade for Hargrove. Decided to do this one as well, since technically we are in the season recap stage and not the off season yet. He's now up to the number 7 quarterback. He was number 8 a moment ago. I always think the weekly awards for the Super Bowl are kind of funny. Hargrove and JFM, no surprise. Jamison Williams obviously had a really good game. I really don't know what's going on with this picture. And then DeAndre Person is just in there because they needed somebody, I guess. He really didn't show up outside of that interception. Here's the league history page. Just going to stare at this a little bit longer. Madison Samuel does get the league-wide Offensive Player of the Year nod. I don't think that really matters for anything else, but it is interesting to see. Jeremiah Edwards gets Offensive Rookie over the Year over Hargrove. I cannot agree with that. I mean, I know Hargrove had more interceptions and that knocked him out of the MVP race, but he was still getting MVP votes. Edwards certainly didn't. He at least wasn't at 4 like Hargrove was. And Hargrove was demolishing records. Seems like usually with Rookie of the Year, they don't look as much at the rookie type struggles as they do as the upside in the production. Here it is, Super Bowl III, the last time that the Jets won it all. It says they were the AFC champion. Of course, that was a couple years pre-merger, so they were actually the AFL champion. The Colts were the NFL champion in Baltimore at the time. Baltimore had Coach of the Year Don Shula. Sure, you've heard that name. But you may not have heard of Earl Morrall. He was actually their backup QB at the time. Johnny Unitas was hurt all season. Morrall came in, won MVP, and then was terrible in the Super Bowl. Unitas came in late in the third quarter and led the Colts eventually to their only 7 points. There are some huge rabbit holes you can get into with old NFL player Wikipedia pages, but maybe now's not the time for that. Gotta say, I've been having a ton of fun making Rookie Watch. It's a lot of fun to play this way, and it's fun to put the episodes together and do the commentary. It also makes me look a little deeper at things that I often don't look at as much, just kind of forget to when I'm playing by myself. Definitely could look deeper on some other things. Would definitely appreciate input on what I should dive a little deeper in on and what could maybe use a little less detail even. With that in mind, before I end this episode, I do want to talk a little bit about the next season of Rookie Watch. It will be different. I'm not sure how exactly, but I expect the pacing to be a lot faster. I've touched on this before, but with the quarterback, you just kind of feel like you are the team, in part because of how Madden works, but also just because of the way the position is. You are kind of running the show. I at least get scope keep. I kind of try to give the quarterbacking decisions context within the game, but that just requires more and more context. And so I'm trying to shove a lot of information into a little time. I also early on really didn't want to show any of the play selection or anything because of the way Madden works, because it's a video game, and the way that I work, where I tend to spam A when I'm waiting for the play screen to come up, although I have gotten better about that. I ended up trying to shove a lot of information into small areas or showing extra plays because I wanted to say something I couldn't fit in there. And part of that came with trying to do it a little more formally for doing kind of a full game, or at least the full offense. I think with other positions, I'm going to try and do it maybe a little more casually. I am just experimenting with different things. But point being, it's really going to depend on the position we play, which I also want to touch on. We don't know that there's going to be an amazing generational or even presidential player, which, by the way, is an obscure term that I kind of need to define. It basically just means we use the term generational too much, so let's use a different term every 4 years-ish. presidential. That's the idea. You can look it up. Zandrick Ellison is the user who posted it to the NFL Draft subreddit a number of years ago. Anyways, we don't know that we're going to get an amazing prospect at any particular position. So if I have a guy that's just like decent and fun to play with, but not really special within the confines of the game, I don't want to totally skip the season, but I will probably speed through it a lot faster. I think with some positions, I could do like a true generational player and still get 4 games in an episode just because, like, at cornerback, there's not going to be all that much to show most of the time. And so I can still like feel like I'm taking time with the games, but get through them pretty quickly. But at any position, if they're not that interesting, I can really just show highlights, show interesting stats from guys like Hargrove we've done in the past, and get through like 8 games in an episode, maybe. I don't know, maybe that's too much, but I can probably at least get through a season in like 3 episodes instead of 4. All that said, I do have some ideas for the selection episode, of course, the NFL draft selection process, as well as my selection of a player. It might take me a while to put together, and then I'll have to do some play testing for whatever position it is, unless it's something easy like running back. So I'm planning to have this episode up Friday, and sometime the following week, expect that other episode, depending how things are going. I might do preseason games even in that episode, or I might do them later in the week or the following week. We'll see. At any rate, if you've been listening through all this mumbo jumbo and you're still here, I appreciate you. I would really appreciate a like or a subscribe. Share with your friends, comment with your thoughts, whatever. Hope you had fun. I sure did. Have a good one.